Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, we've got a great trip report for you. We're headed out on the Disney Wonder to Alaska with listener Joe from New Jersey, and we hear all about his cruise. They were actually out in Alaska for a wedding. So, while in Rome, let's take a cruise. It was a great story. And so we hear all about his first ever cruise with Disney Cruise Line. So they went big while they were taking that first cruise. They had an inside stateroom for his family of four. He has wife and his two kids that were 10 and 9, perfect age for a cruise. And we talk about how that inside stateroom worked out. And we talk about favorite dining experiences on board, entertainment, of course, the ports of call and more, and lots of just great stories. Got to talk Golden Mickey's, my favorite show as well. So stand by for that. Lots of fun talk on today's show. Don't forget today's podcast, as always, brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are standing by to help you plan an amazing Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep us on the air, so a huge thank you to each and every one of you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2786 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend and got to spend some time out there with friends and family as we are approaching the end of October already. I mean, can you believe it? Friday, Halloween. How much candy's left in the cauldron there by the front door? Probably not much. So save some for the kids, ghosts and goblins that are coming around this Friday. So be ready for that. I'll remind you again on Wednesday, my yearly PSA on that way home from work or wherever you're headed on Friday. Slow down. Let the kids cross the street. Be crazy. Just take it easy Friday on that commute home. So everybody can have fun. Be safe. But we'll remind you that on Friday. We're going to have a good time today talking some Disney cruise. Friday, we talked Disneyland. Wednesday, Monday, we talked a little Disney World. We try to switch it up here for all of our Disney fans to all the Disney destinations. And today, going somewhere I've never been. I've sailed the Disney Wonder, but never to Alaska. And this is one of the most popular cruises that is offered by Disney Cruise Line. I will tell you this right off the top of the show I'm a travel agent. This is what I do. This is the cruise that when I book this cruise for my guests, this is the itinerary that my guests do a second time more than any other cruise. They say, I loved it. I want to do it again, time after time after time. So we're going to go to Alaska on the Disney Wonder. Joining us from New Jersey, East Coast, listener Joseph. Joe, what's going on? Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, how you doing, Mike? Happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Hoping to do this for a while. I don't know, never thought anybody wanted to hear about my trips before, but I decided to throw my hat in the ring and excited to talk about this.
Well, I'm glad you're here because, and first of all, I got to tell everybody that we do have video for these shows. So you can always check that out at youtube.com/beourguestpodcast. And it is worth checking out today because Joe's setup, I mean, first of all, he's got the world's coolest hoodie on. He's got a Haunted Mansion hoodie. It's amazing. But his background, I mean, it's killer. It's literally because it's Haunted Mansion. So you check the video out, even if it's just for a couple minutes. I'm jealous. Like it's unreal. So Joe, 10 out of 10 on the setup there. And you told me, this is, I thought it was, like a big office or something, but it's a little behind the scenes there. We can make anything look awesome. I think we learned that COVID taught us some cool lessons, I guess, that we could make setups look pretty sweet anywhere we broadcast from.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yep.
Got to be creative when you have kids.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so I hope people check it out.
guys.
Yeah. So he does have a Haunted Mansion set up, so do check that out. So from New Jersey, I've been asking our listeners like something from like your part of the world, like your little corner of the world, something that nobody probably would know that your little town or part of the world is famous for. That like it was something invented there. Do people visit for some strange reason? Where you're from? Tell us something about your corner of the world, real quick.
Yeah. So I was thinking. I know you've been asking people this, and I was trying to think. So I'm originally from Massachusetts, and I had lots of stuff from there. But I guess the coolest thing is one of the next towns over is where like Bon Jovi is from. So we're pretty close to there. So
Nice.
he's got a rest stop named after him. Pretty close
Really?
by.
Slippery when wet. Big sign. Nice. I see. I've passed through New Jersey when I was like in 5th grade. We went up the East Coast, drove a couple dogs for a professional baseball player from spring training up to Philly. He pitched for the Phillies and saw opening day at the vet, and everybody booed Pete Rose on opening day. That was a sight. They booed Mike Schmidt. They booed everybody. I'm like, dude, it's opening day. Like in St. Louis, we applaud everybody, even if they go 0 for 50. It was a thing. But yeah, we passed. I think we were in New Jersey. Man, so is Philly close to New Jersey? Did he live in New Jersey? I think, or something. Maybe I can't remember. We did pass through New Jersey at some point.
We live in Central, which everybody says doesn't exist. You got to be either north or south. There's the pork roll Taylor ham line. So we're like 15 minutes from Rutgers, like that football stadium, the main campus over there. But we're about 45 minutes from Manhattan and 45 minutes an hour from Philly. So we're like literally right in the middle.
Got all the good stuff there. Cool. I got to get up there. Mallory wants to go see New York City in the Christmas time. So, but
yeah,
as we're recording, she's on the beach in Destin, Florida with all of her friends. So she can just chill out right now. She's living better than I am. So, but I'm having a good time. I'm doing what I love. We're podcasting. We're going to talk Disney cruise. So let's jump into this and talk about how this cruise came about. What made you decide this is your first Disney cruise.
It is, yeah.
What made you decide to take this first Disney cruise, and why Alaska?
So it was a little interesting. We got invited to my cousin's wedding in Alaska, and we went back and forth. You know, should we, shouldn't we? And it was just like, you know, what are we waiting for? You know, this is our excuse to go. We'll go see, you know, my family. We'll get to see Alaska. And then the more we started planning, it's, you think you have an idea of like how big Alaska is, but then you're actually figuring, so it's like 6 hours here, 7 hours there. Like it's huge. So my wife said, why don't we look at a cruise? Because that way we'll get to hit, you know, 3 or 4 different places. We're not going to have to, you know, stick the kids in a car for 6 hours, you know, every time we want to go see something else. So I started looking at cruises, and almost all of them leaving from Anchorage in Alaska were on the Saturday of the wedding. So it was just not working out. And then there was a Royal Caribbean cruise and a Disney cruise leaving the following Monday from Vancouver. So tacking on an extra flight, and the Disney cruise actually ended up being cheaper, which I couldn't believe.
We don't say that often on this podcast, so mark that right there. But we 8 minutes in, mark it. Okay.
And I was like, well, I mean, that's the easiest decision of my life. Like, A, it's gonna save us money, and B, we get to go on a Disney cruise. Like, you know, I think I maybe got the green light from my wife and emailed you like 20 minutes later. I was
That's
like, well, I know who I gotta talk to get this booked.
Hey, myself,
yeah.
when my wife gives me the go, like we're sitting side by side on the love seat, like I'm like, you know, I'll just float an idea, like, hey, I want to do a race or something real quick. Dude, I'm typing at the same time. I get it. I get it.
But yeah, we were a little late in the game by the time we decided to do that. So there was not a ton of cabins left, but just the way that the pricing and everything, I mean, we were already spending quite a bit just to get there, and we were going to be in Alaska for a few days before we even got on the cruise too. So factoring in, 3 or 4 days of kind of cruising around there and dealing with all that stuff, we were fine with the inside cabin. Like, I know everybody is, if you're going to do it, go for it, go get the veranda. I know you're a big proponent of that because of Pam.
Well, here's the thing, though. You did it the right way, though. It's hard to go veranda then go back to a
Right.
inside. Like
Right.
you went inside. Now you can go to a veranda and it'll be like a nice splurge. Like you just can't go the
Yeah.
other way. It's kind of like at Walt Disney World. If you're gonna do like a split stay, you don't want to go like value deluxe. You want to go. You do
Exactly.
want to go value deluxe. You don't want to go deluxe and then end up at like sports. That's rough. Yeah, it's
Yep.
kind of that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's and I know people don't like to hear that was like me going from World to Disneyland when I was like a teenager for my first time. It's like, that's the castle.
Yeah. Well, see that and I thought that was gonna be me too, because like I never went to Disneyland. I was like, I'm a Disney World
Yeah.
guy. 4 parks, water parks, and all the boats. And I went to Disneyland. I'm like, I'm getting older, dude. I love that everything's so close. Like I'm cool. I can handle the small castle, and this castle is so cute. Like you can walk through it, and it's got the diorama. I'm like, this is my jam. I'm like,
I'm dying to go back.
Oh.
It's been like 23 years, 24 years since I've been there.
You gotta get back just for the snacks. Oh, I could just go there and eat. Okay, we got to talk about this cruise because there's so much and people love this cruise. So you guys had some time before go down to Vancouver. So I want to talk some of the mechanics because we always get the questions about the mechanics. I want to get into it. So getting to Vancouver, what was the port and embarkation and all that, especially, and tell us about your family. Like what's your family like and how did you prepare them for this cruise?
Yeah. So so me and my wife, and then my son who is 10, and then my daughter's 9. So this was our first kind of non-theme park trip. So that was a lot to consider. We've done World a few times. We've done, Hershey Park, Legoland, like local stuff, but it's always like theme parks because they are just go, go, go like us. Mm-hmm. So they need to have stuff going on. But yeah, so we were in Alaska we left on Thursday, and then we got into Anchorage. We spent the night there. We drove from Anchorage to Homer, which if you're looking at the state is literally the end of the bottom peninsula, like that's kind of sticking out. It was a 4-hour drive from Anchorage to Homer. We were there for 2 days for the wedding, and then we flew out Sunday from Anchorage to Vancouver. So we stayed the night Sunday, and we stayed at the Fairmont waterfront, which is right across from Canada Place where the port is. So there's a lot of options as far as where to stay, and a lot of people, there's a hotel that's literally attached to the cruise terminal. So there's some advantages there, like you can bring all of your luggage down to Bell Services and they'll bring it right in through the cruise line because it's connected there. This was, we just had to drag our stuff across the street, and it was totally fine. But super easy to get to. It was probably a 25-minute Uber from the airport. So it was, we got in around 8:30, 8:45 at night. So we didn't really do anything that night in Vancouver. We just kind of checked in, and then, the kids just wanted to kind of chill out. We had a, pretty big travel day between driving and flying and everything. So everybody just kind of crashed. But I mean, like I said, we're right across the street from the cruise terminal, so super easy we didn't have to think about, hopping in an Uber or a cab or anything to get there.
That's sweet. Let me ask you this, because I do want to get to all the cruise stuff, but like the kids seem like perfect age to cruise, like, and for especially for like just adventures like this, 10 and 9. Like, look at her. I mean, obviously they'll remember this forever. Like, what was the pre-trip? I'm talking like the months leading up. Well, I don't know how like early you told them about this or had this like on the that they knew. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big adventure. I mean, going across the country to Alaska. That's a pretty exotic place. You're going on your first cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, so what was the build up to this? Like the buzz around the house kind of thing, like getting ready for a big cruise like this.
Yeah. So we we usually will wait a pretty long time to tell them that we're doing stuff. Otherwise, it's how many days? What are we doing? I mean,
I'm always wondering like where that balance
so,
is for parents.
yeah, we have like a big like bulletin board, and we have like a countdown, and we'll do that for like our world trips and stuff like that. But it's usually like, a month or two out. Even that's a long time, but they kind of know what to expect with that stuff. But this was a lot different. We had to explain where we were going, what we were doing, a lot more logistics. Like, we're taking a plane to Alaska, then we're hopping in a car and we're driving to go see your cousins, and then we're driving back, getting in another plane, flying to Canada.
Yep.
But the other thing was they didn't have passports. My wife's and I expired during COVID, and we never renewed them. So we were like, well, it's just good to have them. And then they were like, well, what do we need them for? So we ended up kind of spilling the beans at that point. But they definitely have the like planning bug, especially my daughter. She's like, well, can we look on YouTube? Can we, look at pictures? Can we do this? And so there's a lot of YouTube, especially just of the ship itself. Like, they were super concerned about what that looked like and how to get around, and what the room was going to look like and things like that. So they're both very curious kids.
That's cool, because I mean, honestly, like cruises make me more excited, lately than like even the land trips, because they're more like, I don't know what the term is, like exotic, I guess, than like going to Disneyland or World, because I guess I've been there. Disneyland, I haven't been there as much, but just like a cruise is like less accessible than the other two to me, because it just feels like you got to have like your travel documents. It seems just more like official, and you're out at sea, and it's like you can't leave the ship when you're in the ocean, and it seems like more of an adventure in a way. And like I'm the same way. Like I just got to like watch videos of the ship before I go. I get this like intense fever before I go, and I'm sure that like it's just it makes the experience last longer, because when you're on the ship 7 nights, boom, I mean, it goes so fast, and if you can have that buzz for a few months before the cruise, it makes the whole experience is what it's about, not just the 7 nights. I think a lot of times.
And I was I was watching videos, and my wife isn't as much into, she likes to have an idea, but we caught a video of like the animator's palette, and Mickey comes out and the Fantasmic music, and she's like, I don't want to know this.
Well, see, I mean, that is a balance too. I mean, that's exactly it. Like, you don't want to know exactly, because I mean, I'm with her. Like, it is such a fine line, because you don't want to you don't want to like live your cruise through everybody else's YouTube videos, and then you're just like watching a replay of it when you're on your cruise. It is, it's a fine line. It is.
I know.
That's true. Okay. So let's jump in. So embarkation. Now, I love how you said, because you're right there at the terminal there in Vancouver, so you can actually watch the ship come in. You had the best intentions, but
I wanted to. I knew, a lot of people like, you can pull up a website. It's like cruisetracker.com or something like that, and you can see where, like, regardless of the cruise line, like where they all are in the world. So people will look and see, oh, they're coming around the corner, like wake up at, 5:30 a.m. and you'll be able to see the ship coming into the port. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to wake up. I'll grab coffee. Like, they don't have to come. I'll go by myself. But I woke up and I was like, I can't do this today. It was just the amount of traveling in different places we were the day before. I was like, I don't know. I'll watch us come into a port when we're on the cruise, and that'll make up for it.
You're like, I'll just catch it online next time. The ship always looks the same. The Wonder never changes. I get it, dude. When you're a parent, tired is tired, especially when you're traveling. So let's talk about embarkation. So you finally get to see the Wonder. You get into the terminal, and you're right. The arrival process with Disney Cruise Line is unlike any other, because I've sailed Royal Caribbean. It's fine, but like they really do kind of kick off the cruise in a great way, introducing you on board. Now, I will say, because I've been on all the ships, like the atriums on the larger ships are more like impressive when you hit them, but it's a nice atrium on the Magic, on the Wonder, but they're the smallest, or the little compact there. Now that it was a little shocking going from the Treasure to the Magic this summer, but it was awesome. Like, it was great. But what were your thoughts, like, with the whole kind of, because that first day, that first, like, at least up to the muster drill is chaotic. But what did you think of the first, like, arrival?
It was and it wasn't. It was pretty easy to navigate. I mean, we were up and out pretty early. We just walked down. There was a couple, little shops and stuff. We went to a Tim Hortons, just grabbed like donuts and coffee and stuff.
Never been to one. Always want to, because I always watch. I used to have Hockey Night. I used to have the Center Ice package on DirecTV and watch Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday. Never been to a Tim Hortons. Got to do it.
Yep, it was a when in Rome situation.
Exactly.
They do have a couple here, and they have one when you get off the train at Madison Square Garden. There's a Tim Hortons, so It's not like super exotic. But I was like, we're in Canada.
When you're in St. Charles, Missouri, it's exotic.
But yeah, it was. You could see it was interesting because people were coming off the ship. So they had, their Mickey ears, and they had Alaska sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, are you going on or are you coming off? And we ran into some people that were also getting on. But we were able to, I guess, where this port is a little bit unique is like, you can get right next to the ship, like where like Port Canaveral, you're still kind of far away. Like you can walk right up to it. There's a railing and it's 20 feet away. That's like sweet. The ship is right there. So we went over, we were taking pictures. You can see, the characters on the back of the ship, and it's got like Donald and Huey, Dewey, and Louie on there. And that was just cool to finally get to see it, have the kids see, the scale of it, how big the ship actually is, because they've never been on a cruise ship. So, we were able to go in, I think maybe about 30 minutes before our scheduled time. So I stayed up until midnight, and I still got like boarding group like 8 or 9, I think it was. So not crazy. I think we were around 12:30. Is when we were officially able to go in.
That's better than my boarding group, and I'm platinum that I got for the Magic this summer. So you're doing okay.
Trying my best.
Just luck of
Not
the draw.
that anyone else would have cared that I stayed up till midnight to get the good boarding group.
I did too, but that system crashes every other night, so you never know, man. It's not good. I scream at it. It only crashes when I'm checking in. Never anybody else. Seriously, no, it's everybody. So, because we only have about 40 minutes. We got so much to talk about. So I want to get to this. So, I want to kind of do categories here, because we're not going to be able to hit like every single thing. You gave me great notes, sure. But let me talk about, because let's talk about the stateroom. So you had a family of 4. Mm-hmm. You have, some, like, not like preteen kids, almost, 10 and 9. So inside stateroom. So 7 nights. I mean, you said it worked out fine. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot. of clothes. I mean,
So,
we
yeah, because you guys
switched it
you were on like an
into,
extended vacation too. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
yeah, and this is probably one of the hardest things. I say hard, we're going on vacation, but it was, you know, people said it could be 80 degrees, it could be, 30 degrees and
True.
raining. So it was like, we all had waterproof shoes and boots and rain jackets and waterproof pants,
Yeah, I
but
know. I
also
never
like
thought about that because I
short
never thought
sleeve.
about that because on a cruise, like I'm always thinking just like
Yeah,
Caribbean, like you bring swimsuits and t-shirts and shorts and trunks. That's it. Yeah, I didn't think about
yeah,
all that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Holy
because
cow.
it's every port is you're technically going into a rainforest. Like it rains, 260 days a year in some of these places. So we were definitely prepared more for the rainy end of stuff. And it was the glacier day. It was cold, but the other ports it was fairly warm. But it was, other than Ketchikan, it was pretty nice. It was raining the whole time we were in Ketchikan, so we were pretty wet at that point. But that was the last port.
So you were there in late June, just for the
Yeah.
record,
Yep.
so folks can kind of get
So
the
this
idea.
was, yeah, I think we went like June 20th. So pretty late in the month.
But I mean, for us, like in the Midwest, it's always so stinking hot this time of year that it'd be kind of nice to be in a little cool weather for a little bit, say
Yep.
that time of year. So not, this time of year, like it's getting cooler, like not, doesn't sound so great, but it might then. So, okay, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Now, let me ask you about, well, let's jump into, let's see, because I want to save this, but let's talk about the ports. So you mentioned like Ketchikan and you went down these other ports. Which one was your favorite of the ports that you hit? If you had to like rate
Um,
one, which one did you like the best?
I think it's probably a toss up. So the first port is Glacier Day. So you can get off the ship, but you don't actually dock. There are smaller tender ships that come up, and that's an excursion. It's expensive. I think it was like $450 a person.
Yeah, I've heard about
Get
that.
onto
Yeah,
the smaller ship, and then you get to get even closer to the glacier. Um, we figured it was good enough to be as close as we were going to get on the ship, and my wife gets seasick too, so it was just getting on the smaller ship. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it worked out great. We had great visibility. We could see the glacier. Just going in down that fjord, like the water is like this greenish turquoise color. It's wild. And there's all these little icebergs, and we could see seals, and we caught little glimpses of whales, not like breaching or anything like that, but it was just, it doesn't seem real. But it was just incredible. That whole day was just crazy. And then, yeah, Skagway was probably the other one. We did an excursion where you take the White Pass Railroad. So it goes, I think it's a 3,000 foot incline, and you go up to the top of the mountain. You do a loop. It is just like, the views are insane, and it was clear. It was sunny. So it was like a perfect day for it. Just all the amount of stuff that you could see. Again, it's crazy that this is just here in America. I'm like, it
that's
feels like, I don't even know where it feels like we are.
that's it. I mean, again, I haven't been there, but I love geography, and I've always looked at, like when I remember, like when we first got laptops in my classroom. I used to teach. I taught for 17
Mhm.
years, and when Google Earth came out with their first like app, like I because we piloted actually the very first iPads,
Oh
We
wow.
piloted those in my classroom. I mean, the very first version of an iPad, like the ones that were just trash, the first version, they're terrible. But there was a Google Earth app, and I mean, I had the kids playing on that, and I just remember like looking at like photos of because you didn't really see like very good photos, but you could link to, like Wikipedia and stuff. And like we have mountains, in Alaska. I'm like, yeah, I'm like that's where the biggest mountain is. Like you got to see all this stuff, and but like I hadn't traveled there, and like my kids, obviously, most of them hadn't traveled there from Missouri, but it's one of those things that I still haven't gotten there. I feel kind of hypocritical because I'm like, someday you guys got to get outside of St. Louis and see this. And I have seen some, but I haven't seen most of the world. And I need to do more of that as I get, a little bit older. But you're right. I mean, the beauty of like you're mentioning like this blue-green water and seals and whales and this is the United States. And just to tie into current events, people are talking about, Soarin' getting this Soarin' over the USA overlay here soon. And, social media will be social media. And, the few trolls are out there like, what are we going to have like soaring over Walmart and soaring over, Bucky's and all this, the United States is gorgeous, give us some credit. We can have 3 minutes of beauty. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Especially there. Cause even before we got on the cruise, that drive from Anchorage to Homer, we just pulled over probably 6 or 7 times. Cause there's just like, there's pull-offs, but it's just like, just pull over, like, look at this. Like, we need to stop for a second. And there were people there from Colorado. And I was like, well, you guys must be, kind of used to this stuff. And they were like, no, this is like even another level. And I was like, I mean, I've been to Colorado once. It was, kind of a while back, but I was like, this is what's in your backyard.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Even that was, more for them. It was, this is 10 steps up.
Yeah, every time I fly to Disneyland, I just have a million pictures out the window of mountains. Like every time I see a mountain with snow on top, just it's all the way out west, all the way home. Like I can't stop taking pictures. Okay, so we talked about the ports. Let me ask you though about on board the ship, because the Wonder is a fun ship. What did you guys think about like the entertainment? It was, shows, because you got the feature shows in the Walt Disney Theater, but I also love to hear about the small things like the trivias, the towel foldings, and what the kids enjoyed, because they were the perfect age to kind of get out and about and have fun too. So tell us about what you guys did on the ship besides eating ice cream cones, because I know you did a lot of that too.
Oh. We hit ice cream 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day.
That's how you're supposed to do it. That's why you're there. That's why the machine's there.
I mean, even if I was like, I'm going to, run to the bathroom on that side of the ship while they're in the pool.
Yes. I mean, it's like it's magnetic. It just, me too.
But that was so we, the 7-day cruise, there's the 2 full sea days. So it was like the kids pulled up the navigator. They were like hearting everything. It was like, oh, there's, animation trivia, there's music trivia. Like, we're going to go to this. We're going to go to the kids club. Then we're going to go get lunch. Then we're going to go learn to draw Goofy. Then we're going to go to, Disney cruise trivia. It was like, all that stuff was great. Like, that was, like I said, we're not we went to the pool a couple times, but they wanted to just keep doing stuff. They were just old enough where they could go to the kids club. They could go in and out themselves. So we wouldn't really ever go far. We were like, we'll go grab a snack and we'll sit in the atrium. So, just come out here and we'll be right over there. Or we were on deck 6. So it was really just down the stairs, and our stateroom was like right over there. So it wasn't like they were really wandering around the ship. And I didn't feel, like that there was any, like they were unsafe or anything like that. Everybody, the cast members were always interacting with them, and, their characters wandering around and things like that. So all that little stuff was amazing. Even, the character meet and greets, you get a couple minutes with them. Like, we go and meet Stitch and he's like dancing with the kids and Thor is asking, how is you went to, see the mountains yesterday? Like, I have mountains in Asgard. Like,
Yeah.
it was like these very, very awesome, like, couple minutes with the characters where not that they don't do a good job in World. The lines are insane there. They do what they can. But it just those interactions were, uh, worth the 15 minutes in line. We never really waited long.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. I'm the same way as your kids. Like I see that navigator on the app, and it was like heart, 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 heart. And then my phone's like because it gives you that like 10-minute reminder, like you're supposed to
Oh
be.
yeah,
I'm like, but I'm already having fun doing what I'm doing now. Then I'm like, it's like a Sophie's Choice. Like, do I leave this because I got to go to that? Like, I'm having a blast. It's
I
terrible.
know.
Like I can't decide. But you're right. There's always so much fun going on board, and I love sea days because
Hmm.
like when you, I think initially when you book a cruise, like you book it because you're like, oh, I want to go to all these ports and do all these cool things. But then I've learned that like the sea days are my favorite because Disney Cruise Line programs so well. Because I do like to play trivia. I do like to sometimes I'll do like an everybody cooks seminar, and you can go in there and like cook with the chef. They'll teach you how to make some
Hmm.
kind of like apple strudel or so. Like it's just, what it is. It's a lot of stuff that would be fun to do back home, but you just never have the opportunity to do it. Like
Yeah,
you don't get to play trivia. You don't get to learn how to draw a character. You could, but life's busy. But when you're on a
I
cruise,
know.
you get a chance to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it was all, very inclusive of like everyone. I mean, we didn't do, like a whiskey tasting or like wine tasting or anything like that. We didn't get to Palo, which is fine.
Mhm.
Like, more incentive to go on another
Exactly.
cruise.
And that's the whole thing is like it's there, but you don't need it. It's a good splurge if you can, but you don't have to have it. So that's a good transition. So let's talk dining here for a second. So
Yeah.
you have on the Wonder, so you have Animator's Palette, the old school animators, which
Yeah.
may be the
Yep.
best version. Well, it is the best version of animators, in my opinion, but it might be the best like overall restaurant on Disney Cruise Line. Then you had Tiana's on the
Yep.
Wonder, and
So
you
there's Tiana's Place, and then the other one
is
is
Triton's.
Triton's.
Triton's. Yep. So tell us about your this was well, I'm not what was your favorite?
I
Tough call.
I think Animator's Palette is great, but I think Tiana's Place edged it out just a little bit
Because
because
the whole
they have a
show
live band
element.
in
Yeah.
there. It's a little bit bigger. There's a little bit more interaction with the wait staff. Like we were there on which was supposed to be freezing the night away, which takes the place of Pirate Night on everything else. So on this cruise, they have a Frozen theme night, where they make it snow because they can't shoot fireworks off.
See, that's genius. I never thought. See, I didn't know that either. That's hilarious. That's yeah,
Yeah,
because there's not
so
many
it
pirates
ties in
in
with the theme
Alaska.
really well. But it did get, so that got rained out the night that it was supposed to be. So the show on the outside deck got pushed to another day. It happened in like the middle of the afternoon, which wasn't ideal,
Yeah.
but we still got to see it. So, can't really complain. But yeah, the wait staff was incredible. Shout out to Rudy, who was with us. He was awesome. He was doing magic tricks, and literally the second night already knew everybody's name, knew the drink orders, like so quick, so quick.
You just want to bring those folks home. Like like
Yeah.
I almost cried the last night of the cruise. I'm like, "Ah, I
I
gotta get my own
honestly,
Coke Zeros now. What's going on? I hate this.
I know. I was like, that last breakfast, it was just like, this is it. Not gonna see you tomorrow.
So sad. I know. It's like, can I just stay on the ship, please?
Yeah.
They got to stay on the ship for like 6 months. Like, I just want to stay one more cruise, just one more. Like on the People
No.
Mover, the old move, like one more lap.
And our other waiter that was doing the drinks, I guess one of his best friends on the ship, that was like the end of his particular contract. He's like, I'm not going to see him for 6 months. He's like, I'm so sad.
I bet he was excited though to have a little free time. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one
Yeah.
thing. I mean, and you probably noticed this too, is that, and shout, all the cast members, World, Land. I mean, I know that you guys are the best. You make the magic for us, and we love you so much. But those cast members on those cruise ships, they work. I mean, just
Oh my God.
crazy, because you'll see them. Like you'll go
Oh,
to
yeah.
bed. You're getting ready to go to bed, and you'll see them, closing out at a bar, or closing out at a restaurant. But then you get up super early, like. I'll get up, run on the treadmill, and be sweaty, run through cabanas or whatever, and just grab like a muffin. Bam! Hey, Mike, I'm like, dude, I just saw you like 6 hours ago, like you were working in here, like, and you're in a different uniform, and here you are, like all chipper, like,
Yeah.
you're a machine. Like,
You
what are you
could
doing?
see them everywhere. And then they would have hot towels and hot chocolate after you were coming back from the ports, because a lot of times it was windy and rainy. It's just like, oh, what are you doing here? I'll see you in 2 hours.
It's crazy, yeah. And they're always so this kind and happy, and they set the
Yeah.
tone for the whole experience, which is so much fun. Now, so with the shows though, like at the Walt Disney Theater, did you guys, what would you enjoy about that? Did you guys like big shows, maybe the little variety act, something like that? Did you guys enjoy those?
Yeah, we hit all of them actually, because it was so both kids have braces. They're not supposed to eat popcorn, but I told them they could have popcorn on the cruise, which
You're a
was
good dad. Love it. Love
not-
that. Yeah, now it might have cost you $2,000, but hey, it was worth it.
I know. I was like, what do I think? I was like, it's the Disney popcorn. Like, of course you can have some. I was like, what am I thinking? We're 4,000 miles from your
Exactly.
orthodontist.
Yeah, you're gonna pop off a couple brackets. It'll be okay.
So they were very hyped to get popcorn and to see the shows, but they were awesome. Golden Mickey's.
Oh my gosh, I forgot they have Gold Mickeys. That's my favorite show. I haven't seen that show in like 10 years. I love
I know, and that
Some
was the
people don't
first
like
one.
that show. Some people don't like that show. I love
Oh.
Ensign Benson. Is Ensign Benson still in that show? Is that
Yes.
still the person?
Yep.
Oh my God, I love that show. I haven't seen some people for some reason hate that show. I
Oh.
love does Iger still come up on the screen?
Yep.
Oh man, I gotta go to do I gotta go to Alaska. I love that show. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's still
Oh no, it was.
I love that show.
It was great. And to have that be the first one, I was like, oh man, how are they going to top that?
Oh,
But
for
it was,
real.
Then they had Frozen, which is like the Broadway show,
Yep.
essentially, which was excellent. And then the Disney Dreams was the last one, which was also great. Like the effects, they have stuff from like the Lion King, the Broadway version. So all the costumes and everything was just incredible that they have all of this on, and you kind of take a step back. You're like, man, we're on a boat right now. Like
That's the whole thing. 100% what you just said. Like, I'll be sitting there, watching these awesome productions in the theater, no matter what ship I'm on, the fantasy, the treasure, whatever. And I get so into these shows, these plays, whatever. I'm just like, and like all, sometimes there'll be rough seas, like,
Yeah.
and you'll see, and you see the curtains like go, and I'm like, holy stuff, like. And they don't miss a beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like there's somebody walking around like in a Tangled scene, like the horse is like, doesn't bother them. I'm like, dude, I'd have been in the pit. Like I'd have been off that stage and like, it would have been so bad. Dude, they do not miss a beat. It's so crazy that they're doing this on a moving ship. And like, they don't miss a beat. It is like, you take like, I'm glad you brought that up. Because I think half the people in the audience are just like, oh, yeah, we're just watching this, in whatever theater at Walt Disney World. This is a moving ship, people. And these people are dancing and high kicking. And it's, again, incredible.
Yeah. And it's awesome. Like the last night, they're doing the, farewell show, and you see a lot of the actors that were there. It was like, oh, that's who was Cinderella, or that was, Anna and Elsa. So like my daughter was excited to even see them, out in the atrium. There's Goofy. Yeah, we saw him. Like that was
and a lot of times you'll see like that person was Cinderella, that person was this, like that person was three people during this cruise. Like, that was the lead in this show. That was the backup singer in this show. Like unreal. Like that's, as an adult,
the cruise director, she was like a local celebrity. It was
Oh
just
yeah.
like,
Oh dude, the cruise directors. I love the cruise directors, and well, because you didn't get to do a lot of the adult activities, but I always like become like best buds with whoever runs the adult activities, like
mm,
programming down in like it's called After Hours on the Magic. You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I forget. Beat it used to be called Beat Street years ago on the Wonder. On the, what? Do you even know what it was
It's
called?
Yeah, it is after hours now.
After Hours.
There's there's a couple things in there. We walked in there just to check it
Peek
out,
it
and
out.
then for one of our excursions, we met in one of those lounges.
Yeah.
Um, but we didn't spend too much time over there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right though. They do become celebrity. It's so. That's one thing. If you have not been on a cruise, and I think this is this way, no matter what cruise line you take, as long as you kind of are all in on the cruise experience, is that there's an intensity to a cruise experience that is. I don't know what it is. Like it should be studied because you bond for the most part really fast with your serving team at dinner.
Yeah,
Like you typically bond really. I mean, there's like 4,000 people, two, three, four, depending on the size of your ship, 2, 3, 4,000 people on this cruise ship. But
hmm,
like a lot of times I bonded with the cruise director, like I'm one of 2, 3, 4,000
I
people,
know.
the adult activity director, sometimes people on the cruise director staff, like that are doing towel folding or the people that host trivia. Cause I'll host multiple trivias. Like there's usually a couple people that are
Yep.
like the trivia people. And I go to
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the trivias. So, but it's so wild that like, oh my gosh, like we're buds by day 5. And like you see them around the ship, like I didn't know this person, last Tuesday. And all of a sudden
I
it's
know.
like, oh yeah,
It's
high fiving them. It's
it's
such a weird
crazy because
phenomenon.
then even if you like, I'll turn the TV on in the morning and they have like the Disney Cruise like morning show basically. I'm like, oh, it's cruise director Ashley. And they're just
Exactly.
like, we saw her in the theater last night, but then we'll be walking around and it'll be like, there's cruise director Ashley, and she's like, we saw you on TV. And she's like,
So
oh my god, thank you for watching.
Oh, it's so true. That's so true. So I got to ask you this though, because Alaska, what were the seas like in June? Were they choppy? Were they flat? How'd you rate that?
It's so the we really didn't notice it was rough until coming back into Vancouver. So once you're they call it the inside
Hmm.
passage. So you're basically between the coast and then like a barrier islands. So it's pretty smooth going up and you're really not out to sea, I guess. Like you're basically between those two masses of land for the most part. So it was pretty smooth. My wife has a relief band that she wear like she'll wear that to theme parks and stuff, and she had that, but she ended up not using it very much. You know, I would say maybe one night at dinner we could notice, and that was I think in Triton's, which is kind of like the largest
Hmm.
of the dining rooms. So just that space there you could kind of see, and they had like chandeliers that were swinging a little
Yeah,
bit.
I've been there. For me, on the bigger ships, it's always animators because it's in the very back of the ship. Like, and that's on the
Yeah,
Fantasy and the Dream, especially. And it's usually, for some reason, I typically get that on the first night. In the first night, going like on a Bahamian or a Caribbean cruise, you're passing the Gulf Stream.
yeah,
And like you're hitting that right around dinner time. And that thing will sometimes rock, like as you're crossing the Gulf Stream. And if you have animators that first night, you can feel it that night.
yeah.
And there's like no windows in that restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was trying to think, but there's no windows. There are when you're going in. There's like a little I don't know, vestibule, like hallway that you go in
Yep.
before, and there's windows there, but there's no windows in the restaurant.
Yeah, it just for some reason, dude. I think it's the position of animators gets me on the Fantasy and the Dream when I have it the first night. Like I've noticed because I've sailed those ships enough to know. Oh man, I have
Yeah,
animators the first night. Strap in, because I mean, like I don't get sick or anything, but I'm just like, if we're gonna be rocking, baby, let's,
yeah,
I mean, it's not every cruise. It just depends. But it does.
yeah.
It makes me
It's
aware. It makes me think. I was just wondering
no,
because Alaska's, it's more, but the inside passage don't make sense, like 'cause of the barrier islands and stuff.
yeah, it really wasn't bad. And even I think that same night, well, actually a lot of the nights, so we had the later seating for dinner. So would usually have a little bit of time to play with beforehand. So they have, all the photo ops and stuff in the atrium, and the kids were super into that. And my cousin, who we were with beforehand, got my son a bear claw, and he had that with him. So he would like pull it out in the pictures, and the photographers would like lose their mind every time there
Yes.
was that. And he's like, it's a bear claw. And they were like, oh my God, like do bear face, like do something with it.
Yeah, I bet you the next sailing they went out and got a couple, and like it's probably in every family's picture from now on. Like it's a permanent prop. Oh, I noticed in your notes what you guys got to do. One of the things that you had, everybody must do this. You got to find this heart this 7 times on the navigator. It's the diaper dash.
Yeah.
Did you guys not enjoy that? It's like the only other thing, and I mean the society we live in, this will happen in the next 6 months because of all the acquisitions that ESPN has at this point, ESPNBet.com. You're going to be betting on the babies. Like, dude, like I got baby number 3 with the, striped diaper, but the diaper dash though, that's always a hoot and a half in the atrium.
I think that entire ship tried to get around that atrium. Like,
yes, I know. I always go up as high as I can, like the blimp.
And I was like, my wife didn't want to hear me. I was like, listen, we got to get there and like get on a railing early. And that was, she only got to watch like the first two or three heats. She's like, this is good. I'm okay with it. I'm going to go. We were, I don't know. We had something else I think it was like the small group magician. So one of the other shows in the Walt Disney Theater was a magician. So outside of the shows, that was like the extra one. But then he was still on the ship. So the following day, he did like a small group in one of the lounges where he, taught the kids different magic tricks and stuff. So the kids were like, well, we really want to do the diaper dash. And I was like, I really wanted to see the diaper dash. So I was like, I'm going to stay here. We'll like, as soon as they finish, we'll like book it right into this one. Cause the lounge was right next to the atrium, thankfully. So my wife got a spot and we ran right in there.
Yeah. It's because the thing is, you never know what's going to happen. And you can tell that I've done this enough that there's, some people that have cruised many, many times, and I swear that they prep their kids for this. So, it's like, why are we rigging the diaper dash here? But then, the kid will get up and walk and like, okay, you're disqualified. Yeah. Like, dude, it's great that your kid took his first steps during the diaper dash, but get him out of here. Like, get out of here.
Winner did, I will say the winner ended up scooting. It was like sitting on their butt and like pulling with their legs.
Yeah, see?
So that was the technique that beat everybody else out.
See, I like creativity. That works. So we were just about up on it with the time, but man, again, you sent me just the most gorgeous pictures. So just saying, when you're going, take the best camera gear, of course, iPhones have just become incredible. I mean, that would probably do the trick, but I mean, if you have any kind of camera gear, if you're any kind of a shutterbug, this is the cruise. It looks like, be ready at all times. But, final thoughts, final tips, maybe a final story to share with us as we kind of close the show out. Because it's been so much fun hearing about it. But, I mean, there's a million other stories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just if you're thinking about it, you just got to do it. I mean, this was, we had the excuse of the wedding to go, but it was, I think doing this was probably one of the best things that we could have done. Just it opened the door, because now, not that I don't want to go back to Florida or California to go to the parks, but the kids are like, all right, I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to South America and like see sloths. Like, so now they know that there's like this whole other world outside of the Magic Kingdom, which
good.
Which is
good because I mean, the thing is, what it does, it makes the world bigger because, the Magic Kingdom is there, Disneyland is there, but what it does in a way, it makes them it kind of shrinks everything, right? It makes the Magic Kingdom almost like local, and then you're making your scope of your adventures a little bit more global, which is not a bad thing. You can't do them all the time, but at least their
No,
perspective is getting bigger.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this was a lot of travel. A bunch of flights, moving around. Boats, buses, cars, planes. Like, I'm like, well, they did great. Like, there was little to no complaints. Like, the entire time. It was like, we could go to the UK, we could go to France, we could go we could go to these places now. I think you guys could handle it. So that was very eye-opening. But I think it is a lot different than even just packing wise, it's a lot different than a Caribbean cruise. And I think this was a good spot where 7 days is a long cruise, comparatively, where some people are, they're really only doing the 3 days, even the 5 days. Like, it was enough where we could slow down a tiny bit, in those little pockets, but we made the most of, every day.
And kind of closing my thoughts here is that, with those kids being 10 and 9, like the perfect age, they'll remember this forever. But what it does, again, coming from a former educator, is that the informal education they get from an experience like this, like you said, traveling cross country, being able to adjust to time zones, being able to see the scope of what mountains look like in, on the western coast, or Alaska, and just the different climates, and seeing a rainforest. Because when they come across this and they talk about rainforest, from somebody from New Jersey or somebody from Missouri, it's such an abstract concept, but like, they have now lived it, they've now experienced it. And, later on in life, when they get the opportunity to travel, they know that they can feel it. They know what it is like to do all this. So, you said it so well, that this is something that if you get the opportunity to do it, it pays off more than just the memories you make in the initial trip. Like, this will be something that'll set them up for success later on down the line.
Yeah. And like, my wife is an elementary school teacher too. So it was just, she, brought so many of the pictures in and showed her students. And, my daughter told anyone that would listen, that we were going to Alaska. We left the day, their last day of school. So is the day we left. So it's just like, even our teachers from the last year, they're like, you have to send pictures. Like, I don't even know what to expect here.
Yeah. I loved when my kids got to do stuff like this. Like, it made me happy as a teacher to see my students get to experience the world. I was like, I might not get to go there, but if you get to go there, that's good enough. Like, that's what I like to see. Well, Joe, hey, I appreciate the time, man. So glad your family got to have such a wonderful cruise, and I appreciate you sitting down with me and sharing this, and what a great way to start this week. So I got to ask you, you guys got the Haunted Mansion stuff. Do you guys do Halloween this Friday? Like, you guys dressing up? You guys do anything like that around there? What's up?
Yeah, it's a little different than, when I was younger. It's still going to be daylight when we're heading out, but our town is very small. So it's like their entire school is out in the neighborhoods. So we'll do trick-or-treating in the neighborhoods, and hopefully get some king size. But we're on like a main road, so we get just about no one.
I mean, at least you're getting out there and doing it, because everybody should get out there and trick or treat. So, real quick, what's your favorite candy bar? What are you going for?
Probably like a Milky Way.
See, I'm not a nougat guy. I can't do nougat. For some reason, I can't. I don't know what it is about that stuff. I go like Kit Kat or something like that.
Yeah, I get like a Reese's.
I could go. Yeah, that's good.
Those two, or like a Swedish Fish. Swedish Fish is probably
that's
top.
Pretty good too. Got to be in the mood for those. But yeah, I'm more of a chocolate guy. But yeah, Swedish Fish is good if you can't have chocolate. All right, Joe, I appreciate you, bud. I hope you get all the nougat, all the Milky Way, all that stuff on Friday. Have a good one.
Yeah. No, you too. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. You want to go see Alaska? We can help you with that. Get you a nice onboard credit to enjoy during that cruise. Walt Disney World, Disneyland as well. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep us on the air, so thank you so very much for that. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. come on over. We'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can follow me on the social media at beourguestmike. That's on x.com, Instagram, and Threads. And of course, we have the Clubhouse. It's our Discord server. It's like a live chat / message board. It is so much fun. It's free for everybody. There's no reason for you not to be there. It's like our own little social media hub where there's no ads, no mess, no arguing. It's just great. So come on over and join us. We talk Disney all the time, 24/7. Come on over. Your invitation is waiting at beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And finally, we'll have a live call-in show. Now, hey, got to tell you this. 2 call-in shows this week. One, just a couple of days from today. Wednesday night, we're doing a special. It's a Halloween show. In place of the Trip Report show for next week, we're going to have a Halloween show this Wednesday in 2 days. It's 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. I'm going to go live, and we're just going to talk about Halloween stories from when we were kids. What was your favorite costume? What was your favorite candy? What did you do? Like, favorite trick-or-treating story? Did you go and there's a spooky house in your neighborhood that you couldn't go to or you're scared to and you had to dare or something like that? What was did you have a big party at your school every year? What was the tradition for that? Back when we used to be able to do those things. I know we had to quit doing them when I was a teacher. Boring. But, we're going to share those stories. So it'll be an hour long from 7 to 8 Eastern, 6 to 7 Central. We'll have the phone lines open. That'll be Wednesday night in all the places: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. So join me for that. I will need your calls. That's the only way this works. And that show will air in the Friday slot on Halloween Day. So join me for that this Wednesday in a couple of days. We'll have the live show again on Sunday night with Scotty G too. Same places, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. So join us for that. All right, time to get out of here and let you have a great week until we talk again in about 36 hours, 48 hours or so. We will have a good time talking some Halloween. So for Joe, Watt, New Jersey, I am Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.